Hey, what's up, everybody? Benji Bruce here with SpeakingLifestyle.com, and in this video, I basically wanted to create, I guess, the ultimate startup guide for getting paid speaking gigs. I mean, I thought about if I had to start over, literally from scratch, with absolutely no speaking gigs, no website, no resources, no nothing. What would I do? And I really mean like starting out with nothing whatsoever, no previous clients. I mean, if I had to start all over or build someone else's speaking business from absolutely nothing, then what would I do? I get several emails from people who say they want to start a speaking business and they're basically just starting out. They know that they have the skills and they know that they have a great message, but how do you actually start? If you go to my website, benjibruce.com, then you'll see like all these pictures of me on corporate stages, tons of reviews, TV appearances, all kinds of stuff. And it's much easier to get booked when you actually have that stuff. And a lot of people know that they should have great marketing materials, but how do you actually get everything? How do you do everything if you're just starting out? I mean, how do you get the great marketing materials to begin with? I mean, how do you get the paid gigs, and how do you get companies like AAA and Remax, all these guys to actually hire you? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. If I had to do it all over again, then here's what I would actually do. First, I would actually figure out who I wanted to speak for and what types of speakers they currently hire. Most speakers say they have a great message, but a lot of times that message isn't something that the corporate market is actually interested in hearing. So let me give you an example. If you ask a speaker what they speak about, then they usually say something like, oh, I help people develop their inner power and things like that. I mean, okay, but from a corporate perspective, I mean, I'm a corporate event planner. I'm looking for a motivational speaker, and I have no idea what the heck you're just talking about. You see, you might think that you're coming across clear when you say, oh, I help people develop the inner power within them. You might think you're coming across clear, but you're actually not. When speakers get too fancy with how they describe themselves, they create a market of one. They think that they're standing out from the crowd, but in reality, they've completely left the atmosphere. I mean, nobody knows what they're talking about except them. If I told you that I'm a motivational speaker, then you know exactly what I talk about. I mean, you know exactly what I'm about. Now, if you ask me what I speak about after I told you I'm a motivational speaker, then I can give you more details. But I mean, basically, if you start out wrong, then you're not going to get hired. So the first thing I would do is I would make sure that the people hiring me actually hire other speakers like me. The easiest way to do this is to actually put your speaking topic into a normal category, like a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, leadership speaker, that type of stuff. What I would essentially do is I would actually go to a couple of speaker bureau websites, and I wouldn't go to contact them because in the beginning, when you're starting out from nothing, they're not going to hire you anyways. But I would go to their website and I would look at the categories that they have of speakers. They have things like motivation, inspiration, leadership, sales and marketing, peak performance, a ton of other things. And I would ask myself, like, which one of those categories do I fit in? Which one does my topic fit in? Then I would describe myself as that type of speaker from that moment on. So if whatever my speech topic is, if it was related to leadership, then I would say I'm a leadership speaker. I would be very clear about what I'm doing to begin with. Now, I know that you get all kinds of information from other people out there who tell you to create your USP and all that sort of stuff, but your USP isn't created through words, it's more created through your style. There's a lot of misinformation out there by people who read books, but they don't actually get hired by companies. And I'm telling you what works. You can easily just like look me up on YouTube and see that I'm actually doing all this stuff. I'm going to tell you how this industry works, and you have to start by describing yourself in the right way. I don't really like holding back when I'm giving people advice because, I mean, that's essentially what's hurting you and stopping you from building your speaking business. When you let people just tell you advice that you kind of like to hear. I mean, if you don't have as many speaking gigs as you would like and you're not charging what you want, then you need to really open yourself up to this information. I'm not here to tell you things that make you feel good. I'm here to tell you how this business actually works. I mean, if you want to listen to it, then make sure you really, really listen. And if you just want to keep doing things your way, then good luck. I mean, that's up to you. Now, after I actually put myself into one of these categories, so let's say I say, all right, I'm a motivational speaker. I put myself into that category, and I know that my market hires motivational speakers. It hires speakers like me. Then the next step is I would actually focus on selling myself. Even if I didn't have a presentation already, even if I didn't create my presentation, my motivational speech, I would still focus on selling myself. And I would do that first. And I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, lots of speakers, they've created a presentation and they're not getting booked. I mean, they have a great message, but they still haven't booked a single $10,000 speaking gig, and they're doing less than 1 gig a month. You can have a great presentation, you can have the best presentation in the world, but if you don't know how to sell yourself, then nobody's going to hear what you have to say. I always tell speakers to imagine that they're like, they're very similar to how someone buys a book. You can't read the entire book and then decide to buy it. You have to buy it and then you read it. The same goes with your speaking. The content inside the book is the same as your message as a speaker. Your content, the content that you want to give, that's the same content as what's actually in a book. The problem is that nobody can listen to your content until you've already sold it. I mean, until the event planner has already said, yes, let's hire this person as a speaker, then you can deliver your content. It's easy to create a presentation, but if you're not getting hired to speak, then you've essentially wasted all your time creating this perfect presentation that nobody's actually paying for. So I would essentially focus on selling myself before I even created the presentation, if I didn't have one. Now, the way you're going to focus on selling yourself is essentially to get as much marketing materials as possible in the shortest amount of time as possible. And this essentially requires a lot of focused effort. Focus essentially means that you block everything out except the one thing that you're focusing on. This means that I wouldn't join any groups. I wouldn't hang out on Facebook all day. I wouldn't do anything except the things that build my speaking business. And the things that you do to build your speaking business are completely different than the things you do to run your speaking business. When you're building your speaking business, your main focus is to speak on any stage whatsoever. Your main focus is to really get the marketing materials. You want the video footage, the testimonials, all that stuff. You don't care about getting paid in the beginning. You care about getting the marketing materials in the beginning. Now, let me ask you this. What's the easiest marketing material that you could possibly get, even if you don't have a single speaking engagement lined up? I mean, even if you've never spoken on a single stage in your life, what's the easiest thing that you could possibly get? Think about it. The easiest thing you could get when it comes to marketing materials is video testimonials. I would essentially get video testimonials from my friends, from my family, anyone that I could possibly think of. I would tell them to talk about me into the camera and say just pretty much what an amazing person I am. I'd be like, hey, mom, just tell the camera what an amazing person I am. Don't say that you're my mom. And I would just have them do that. And I would get as many as possible because you don't need a speaking gig to get those. Then I would take those, I would build a WordPress website, and I would put all those testimonials on the site. I would make the site look as good as possible from the very beginning. And even though it would suck, I mean, it would suck without the real marketing materials, without the other stuff, it would still be better than having nothing, and it would have all the video testimonials that I get. Now, before I keep going, I do want to point something out that people might miss. I want to point out the psychology that you need when you are building a speaking business from nothing, because it's pretty harsh. And I mean, like I said, I'm not interested in just telling you things that's going to make you feel good. I'm going to tell you how it actually is, how it really works. The psychology that you need is to do whatever it takes. You need to have a do whatever it takes attitude. Most speakers don't get booked just because they don't do anything. they wake up and they move throughout the day all slow. They don't contact people. They don't keep learning. They go to sleep early. They talk about how tired they are. They talk about how little money they have. They do everything except the things that they need to do. If you want to build a speaking business, then you have to adopt an intense psychology. Look at all the professional athletes, all the top professional athletes, people like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Usain Bolt, Tiger Woods. Look at all these top guys. Look at anyone who's at the top of their game, and you'll notice that they work like crazy and they have this intensity about them. You want to have the same intensity because it's the only way you're going to make it in the industry. I mean, think about it like this. Imagine you're on the top of a hill and there's this huge boulder in front of you. And I'm talking about like a huge freaking boulder, but the hill is going downward. So if you can actually push that boulder just a little bit, then it's going to start to go down much easier. You'll just tap it and it'll start really going down. The problem is that you have no momentum to begin with. So you're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of energy just trying to get that boulder to start moving. You're going to be pushing it. You're going to be kicking it. You're going to be doing whatever you can, just running up to it and just dropping it. I mean, all sorts of, you're going to do whatever you need to do to get the boulder just to move. And even then, it's going to be really hard to move. But once it starts going downhill, it's going to be a lot easier. That's how your speaking business is. In the very beginning, it's very hard. Nobody wants to hire you because you don't have video footage, you don't have pictures, you don't have previous clients. And because nobody wants to hire you, you can't get on stage to get all that stuff. I mean, you can't get the videos and you can't get the pictures and all. You don't have any momentum. But once you do get the videos, once you do get the pictures and all the other stuff, it's much easier to get hired from that point forward. I have a lot of marketing materials, so when we actually send people to my website, they're easily persuaded to hire me. They're easily persuaded to pay a lot of money. I've built that momentum, and it's a million times easier right now, and that's essentially what you have to do. You have to build the momentum. So basically, I would get those testimonials, and I would start working on the website. I'd really start focusing on the momentum. If I could afford to hire someone to do it, then I would. But if I couldn't hire someone to build the website, then I would just figure it out myself. And actually, that's what I really did. In the beginning, I couldn't afford to hire someone to build a website, so I just figured it out myself. I mean, you essentially have a choice. I mean, you can either complain about how you don't know how to do something, or you can just learn it. What I found out is that people who complain don't do anything with their lives. So you can complain, or you can just say, you know what, sure, I don't know it, but I'm going to figure this out no matter what. You have to always seek out new information no matter what and really educate yourself. I mean, I wish someone had a site like this. And I wish at the beginning when I was starting, someone had a site like this and could show me the business side of the speaking business. I mean, even like with the platform members area, it's just for $348 for the entire year. And I would definitely join the platform members area. If you don't have specialized knowledge, then it's gonna take you a lot longer because you're gonna try to figure it out yourself. But if you have someone telling you exactly what you need to do and what you need to stay away from, then of course you're going to build your business a lot faster. But on the other hand, most speakers, they get so caught up in the idea of, oh, I don't want to spend anything. They get caught up in that mindset that they don't realize that they're not going to make it, or they're just going to it's going to take like 3 years instead of 3 months. I can't stress to you how important it is to get specialized knowledge. What happens when you don't get specialized knowledge is you end up joining these, I don't know, random associations. You end up spending money on conferences. You forget everything you learned about a couple months later after you went to the conference. You're still in the same place as you were 2 months later after you did all that stuff, and nothing really happens. You go out, you go buy another book, you buy another ticket to another conference, you ask for advice on a Facebook group, and then a couple months later, once again, nothing really happens. Benjamin Franklin said, never confuse motion with action. People think that just because they're doing something, that means they're doing the right thing. just because you're moving and just because you're buying books and you're going to conferences, you might feel good about yourself because you think that you're getting better, but you're not. You're doing something, but you're not doing the right thing. You're essentially confusing motion with action. So I would really seek out specialized information. But once I got, let's say, the testimonials and the website, and I'm looking for all this information, you only have, I guess you would only have the video testimonials to begin with. Then I would actually start contacting people. That way I can speak somewhere, and I would essentially speak anywhere at the very beginning. I mean, anywhere that makes sense. I would contact as many people as I possibly could. So I'd have the video testimonials, the websites up. Then I would start actually contacting people, and not just to really improve my presentation skills at the beginning, but to get marketing materials. That's the mindset you need to be in at the very beginning. Just get marketing materials. I mean, if I had kids, then I would contact the school, the high school, whatever, and I would offer to speak for free. If there was a local college around me, I mean, even if I didn't have kids, if there was a local college around me, I would ask to speak for free. I'd talk to a professor or whoever, and I'd ask to speak for free to a class. I mean, man, if I had to, I would freaking walk into a hotel. I would find a random event that's going on, and I would ask the person in charge if I could just deliver a 15-minute presentation. For all you know, they might just say yes. I wouldn't care what I had to do. I would figure out a place where I can speak, and at the same time, I would get video footage of it. And by the way, I actually just read an email where someone said that they know they should get marketing materials. They've spoken on stages, but they've never actually gotten video footage because the client said, oh, we don't want you to record. Here's the thing. Any client that ever tells me not to record, I tell them I'm not interested. Very rarely will someone ever tell me I can't record and I will do the gig. There was a client who offered to pay, I think it was like $7,500, and then I told them that I was going to record it. They said no because there's going to be certain people there, and I just said I'm not interested. You have to think ahead. You see, you're not getting this one speaking gig just for the money. You're getting this one speaking gig so you can book 10 other gigs from it. If they don't let you record, there's absolutely no reason for you to do that gig because someone else will let you record. If you, let's say, I mean, if you're focusing on getting on stages at this point, I mean, I'd focus on getting on stages. I mean, even if you like live in LA and you see like a celebrity just around, I would just walk up to them. I'd take a picture and I'd post it on my website. I'd be like, hey man, I love your stuff. Can we take a picture? And bam, take a picture, and I'd post it on my website. I would pretty much do whatever I had to do. I mean, if you have a talent like juggling, hypnotism, singing, whatever talent you have, I would go to an open mic and I would do that talent. And then right after it, I would get video testimonials from people. In some way or another, I would get those marketing materials like my life depended on it. Most speakers make excuses about how they don't have time to do this. They have to, I don't know, take care of the kids. They have to do this and that, run all these errands, and they have to basically do all this stuff. And they're basically not getting anywhere. You either decide that you want to build your speaking business or you just stop wasting your time. If you want to build your speaking business, then you better invest in your speaking business. Invest your time, invest your money. You need to invest everything you can if you're dead serious about building your speaking business. Don't say, oh, I got errands to run. No, you just put those aside and freaking work on your business. Now, the way that you're going to get on stages for free, I mean, it all depends on your personal situation, and that's why it's really hard for me to give you specifics, because if you're a hypnotist and you're listening to this, I would give you different tips versus if you're like a random singer or something. If you knew Bill Gates personally, I would give you different tips on how to do it. So you have to figure it out yourself. I mean, I'm a mentalist, so I do mind reading shows and I speak for a living, so I could easily just walk into any hotel, crash any event, and I could start doing some mind reading demonstrations. And then I'd ask about, I don't know, 20 minutes later, I could ask the person in charge, like, hey, can you just let me go on stage real quick and I'll do something for everybody? And they would easily do it. And I know because I've actually done it before. I've done it several times. But if you don't know how to do what I do, then you have to figure something out for yourself. You have to do something different. That's why I said if you have kids, then you can easily go talk to the school and go up to the school, talk to the principal and have you speak. You have to create the opportunities around you and take advantage of everything you can in your life. So once I get like the video testimonials, a website, I'd figure out ways to get on stages for free, to get some video footage. Then I would focus on getting on bigger stages, but I would also start asking for money. No matter how little it is, I would ask for money as soon as possible. I hate it when speakers tell other speakers to do a lot of free gigs before they start charging. I mean, that's just bull. I mean, you're running a business and your business needs to make money as soon as possible. You need to be profitable ASAP. And I mean, get this straight. You're running a business. I understand that you want to change lives and all that stuff, but you can't help the poor by being poor yourself. You can't change people's lives if your life is all screwed up. You run a business, so you need to treat it like one. Now, I also want to point out that everything that you've heard me talk about, it takes time. I don't know how long I've been talking right now. I mean, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. I don't know how long I've been talking, but none of this is going to happen in a week. I mean, it technically could if you did this all day, every day, but that's essentially up to you. The problem with all advice in any area, no matter what advice you're getting, the problem is that you can easily understand something, but there's a huge gap between understanding it and doing it. You can easily understand how to play golf, but that doesn't mean you're going to be the next Tiger Woods anytime soon. I can tell you how to play basketball and how to dribble and how to shoot the ball, but that doesn't mean you can easily make three-point shots and become the next Michael Jordan. The same way you practice in a sport, you're going to essentially be practicing in your speaking business. You have to repeat the same task over and over for a long time before you get good at it and before it starts working. You have to keep shooting the basketball. You have to keep hitting the golf ball. And then and only then will you be pretty decent at it. The same goes with your speaking business. What I just described to you could easily be months worth of work. Getting video testimonials, building your website, speaking for free. I mean, just a couple of words, just those three things. You could easily understand it, but it can take months for you to actually do it. The key is to make sure you're doing it right the first time. It's to make sure that you have that specialized knowledge so you know you're getting the right video testimonials, you know you're building the right website, you know you're speaking in the right way so you get the referral gigs. There are a lot of little details to get with the specialized knowledge. There's a lot of details, even though I just mentioned the three things that I really focus on. That's why I really do tell people to join the platform members area or to join the Speak Pro Academy, which is even better because it really does guide you step by step on what to do. The key is to be intense with your actions. I mean, I could actually go out right now and I could get 10 video testimonials, but there are other speakers who've been speaking for years and they don't even have one testimonial. It's a matter of intensity. It's not a matter of time, it's a matter of intensity. How serious are you about building your speaking business? Do you say you're serious or do you do something about it? If you're serious, you'd probably go get at least 10 video testimonials this week. So, I mean, after the website really, and after doing the free gigs, now I'd basically try to get the paid gigs because when you're doing the free gigs, you now have the video footage, you got the pictures, and now it's basically time to get paid. I mean, in the second that I got paid, here's what I'd do that I wish I would have done a long time ago. The second I got paid any amount, I don't care what it is, I would reinvest it back into the business. I would immediately hire someone to contact people with me. So let's say that I'm cold calling, and let's say that I'm sending emails to get speaking gigs, and let's say that one person paid me $500 to speak because this is like the one of the first gigs or whatever. So someone pays $500. If I could find someone who would work for me for $500 and contact people, then I would. If not, then I would just save it up until maybe I got $2,000 worth of money, or however much it's going to cost to hire someone. At this point, you now have leverage. Now, instead of you just contacting people, it would be you and the other person contacting people to have you on stages. So if you've been contacting 70 people a day, well, now you guys are contacting 140 people a day because the person that you've hired is working for you. You want to get leverage as soon as possible. Leverage, it's like with the boulder that's in front of you. Sure, you can work on pushing the boulder and spending all your energy, but if you have leverage, if you get the leverage, you get this like huge steel rod and you dig it into the bottom, then you get leverage. Well, now it's a million times easier to move that boulder. Leverage allows you to spend time doing the right things instead of just doing the busy things. Now, as I'm essentially talking about this and thinking about this, I'm realizing how impossible it is for anyone to tell you how building a speaking business really works in a short amount of time, because there's so much that you need to know. It's not even funny. I mean, it's like with your website. If you don't build the website the right way, then it doesn't matter what you do. You just won't get booked. There are little details like the type of social proof that you need to have on your website. And that's the little things that's going to get you booked versus you just putting up a site just to put it up and then you're like, oh, let me contact people right now. I mean, if you do it the right way, then you're much more likely to get hired. There are lots of speakers out there right now, even listening to this, with a website who aren't getting booked, because they essentially built the website wrong and it's not as good as it should be. But when you build it right, what happens is essentially what a client actually said to me when they paid around $20,000 to have me at their event. He basically said, he was like, you know what, to be honest, after looking at your videos and everything, we didn't even know if we could afford you. And here's the thing, they were paying around $20,000 to have me out there. That essentially means they probably thought I was going to charge like $35,000 or $50,000 or something way more than 20. You can have that effect on people if you get all the details right. You want to keep educating yourself. So I would get the testimonials, I'd get on stages no matter what, I'd get the marketing materials, and I'd eventually start charging. Then when I made any money from any of the speaking gigs, I would pay someone to get leverage on my time, and then I would essentially repeat everything. I mean, I just repeat all of it. That's how it really works. Obviously, that's like a huge overview of everything, but the two main things that you need to focus on is, number one, getting marketing materials and contacting people to be the speaker at their event. When I started, I didn't have anything. I didn't have any money to market myself, so it did kind of take a while. I mean, on top of that, I didn't have a resource like this blog or the platform members area. I wanted a lot of I basically wasted a lot of time doing things that I thought was important, but it really wasn't important at all. There's no reason why you can't build your speaking business. You just have to do it. You just have to do the right things. You're always going to replace the video testimonials that you get today with better ones that you're going to get tomorrow and a month from now, things like that. Your video footage of you in front of 10 people, with the video footage where you're just in front of 10 people, it's a small group like a meetup group or something, you're going to replace that with video footage of you in front of 300 people at a corporate event. You're going to replace pictures of you on a small stage with TV appearances that you get. All that is going to come if you have the intensity to build your business. You're basically going through a cycle of marketing materials. And the better your marketing materials, the easier it's going to be for you to get even better marketing materials. When companies see that you've been on corporate stages, they have no problem paying you $10,000 for a 60-minute presentation. So it's essentially like it's just a cycle. And the more details that you have about what you specifically need to do, then the faster you're going to build your speaking business. Now, look, I'm not saying this just to sell you something. I really mean it. You need to join the platform members area or the Speak Pro Academy if you're serious and you really want to build your speaking business. The stuff that you're going to learn is some real behind the scenes stuff. If you expect me to give my best information for free on this blog in these videos, then you need to slap yourself. Like, take out the baby powder and pimp slap yourself. It took me years to learn this stuff. There is no way I'm going to give my best stuff away for free. If you're serious about building your speaking business, then, I mean, $348 a year is nothing. If you're more serious, then you can join the Speak Pro Academy. That'll definitely do it a lot faster. Without the right information, you're going to be doing things that are just wasting your time. You're basically going to be in the same place 6 months later because you're going to be just guessing rather than doing what works. If you've been listening to this and you don't know who I am, then I really suggest you actually go to YouTube and just Google me. Just type in Benji Bruce. You'll see videos of me actually doing the stuff, not actually teaching it. I've mastered the ability to get booked on corporate stages and to market myself as a speaker and an entertainer. I can show you how to do it. So join the platform members area or the Speak Pro Academy if you really want the details. So go ahead, do that now, and stay tuned for more videos.